What's up, everybody? I'm Donald Jones,
Gary Smith.
and we back for another episode of Right or Wrong. And, last week, Gary and I were going back and forth on this because I'm a big boxing fan. Now, he watches boxing, but he's a big MMA fan. And so he tried to tell me while I was at football practice, watching my son's practice, that boxing was more brutal than MMA. My thought is, you are crazy.
Oh, I love
If
it.
you,
I love it.
that's
I
just
love
all
how
I
you
had to
come out and
say.
just thank you.
You are crazy
Thank
if
you.
you think that boxing is more brutal than MMA. There is no way that you can tell me that boxing, for me, boxing is more of an art, a technical skill, and being able to, hit, stick, and move and all of that stuff, dance, do all of that stuff in the ring. MMA is just two dudes slugging it out, basically without gloves, street fighting.
We've heard all this mumbo jumbo before from you so-called boxing fans.
Right.
Let me tell you something. I'm gonna put my drink down for that.
Yeah, I'm gonna pick mine up.
Let's get into a fight, and let's agree to punch each other in the face for 12 rounds. Punch each other in the face or body, but mostly face. Okay, taking blows to the face, or let's agree to a 3-round fight with takedowns, submissions. Yeah, there's a head kick and a few punches.
Yeah.
But the majority of it's all about numbers, Donald. You're taking majority of shots to the head in boxing.
Yeah.
I don't care. You can pull up any data sheet you can find off of. I said data sheet. You can find any.
You can tell you on a business.
You can pull any statistic up on Google or whatever you want to look at, and you'll find out that boxing causes way more head trauma than MMA.
No.
It's a numbers game, man.
It's a numbers game. See, that's the problem with people that's in business. All they care about is the numbers.
It's the truth.
And you can find a stat that can really prove any argument. It's the truth.
You got to look at the majority, man. You got to look at the majority. I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
What you and I are going to do one day, we're going to go down and see a physician.
Okay.
And more so, a neurologist, someone who has to do with the brain. Mm-hmm. And we're going to ask him about
whose brain is more messed up.
Exactly. And I think you both and I we can both agree that
you both and I.
You both and I, like I said that we both agree that football is way more violent than both of them.
Well, football is definitely.
It's a collision sport.
That's a collision sport.
Absolutely.
Football, you're running from long distance into
but it goes
else.
this. It goes football, boxing, then MMA.
That's only because MMA, they had to keep it to 3 rounds because MMA is so brutal. That's how bad it is.
Oh, see, now he's changing the whole argument up.
I'm not changing the argument
you
up.
are.
How am I changing the argument up? It's so
I'm
brutal that they can't go 12 rounds.
I'm glad we got this on camera.
MMA is so brutal they can't go 12 rounds. There's no way that they would last. Somebody would die in the ring if they went 12 rounds.
You and I can get into an MMA fight right now.
I don't want to fight you.
Well, I don't want to fight you either. But all I can do is do a double leg takedown and then choke you out and you'd be done.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
I don't have to land a single punch on you.
This is street fighting with no gloves.
I just cut your wind supply off. Listen, I didn't, and there's no blunt force trauma to the head, okay?
How is there no blunt force trauma to the head?
I cut your wind supply off.
Well, yeah, on that. But when you watch the fights on TV.
Many of fights end that way.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, many fights do. There are also many fights in MMA that end with a kick to the face and they just sleep with the arm like this. You know how it is.
Hold on. You've watched Tyson clips before, right?
Yeah.
How many of his opponents wound up going through the ropes, assed out? So don't tell me that doesn't happen in boxing.
You was young when Tyson was fighting, man.
I was.
I was too. But
Yeah.
you're older than me.
What
so
about Butterbean? I'm by 3 months, all right? So don't even start that.
Butterbean? You brought up Butterbean?
No, I'm saying, how many dudes he knocked out ice cold?
Now, what about a guy like Mayweather? Tactician
But you still, all right, I'm glad you brought that up. You still see that in the lighter weight division guys in MMA. They don't knock out a lot of guys like that.
They just doing more wrestling moves? Takedowns?
No, I'm just saying,
submissions?
their punching power is not with them.
Right.
Just like in heavyweight fights, you do see a lot of knockouts.
For me in MMA, they hitting you in the back of the head. It don't matter. They got you on the ground and they still
That's a foul. That's a foul.
But it still happens.
Yeah, listen, in boxing, you get hit in the back of the head. How many times they tie it up, they're doing one of these little rabbit punches in the back. You've seen it all the time.
Just with the wrist action?
Yeah, do you see them? I'm telling you, the same
That shit
thing.
is hilarious.
In MMA, you see the same thing, man.
No, man. Look, MMA. If they made
I'm
an
glad we got
MMA
on
fight,
camera.
if they made an MMA fight 12 rounds, somebody will probably die in that ring.
No way.
Boxing, they can dance around and just go in there, boom, boom, and back out. In MMA, you're gonna get in there and you're gonna hit and hit and hit with no gloves on, basically bare knuckle fight in the streets. That's why I can't watch MMA. It takes me back to seeing street fights growing up. Man, that stuff is crazy. And all of those dudes at MMA, see, MMA hasn't been big enough for long enough for us to see, because you made this argument on the phone. It hasn't been big enough for long enough for us to see those fighters become punch drunk. But you give it another 5 or 10 years,
I'm glad you
when
just
these dudes are doing interviews.
You just reminded me. Look at the greatest of all time, Muhammad Ali. Mm-hmm. Would you not agree with that?
That could be from fighting. It could be.
Oh, there's a doubt.
But this is what I'm saying, though.
He didn't get that way from landscaping, I'll tell you that much. I'll tell you that much. He is punch drunk. Actually, I brought up James Toney. I love James Toney. Mm-hmm. All right? Mm-hmm. One of my favorite boxers of all time. He had the best shoulder roll I've ever seen.
Ooh.
Anyway,
it's debatable. Go ahead.
Bring up a name. Anyway,
Mayweather. Shoulder roll.
No.
Beastly.
James Toney. I think Mayweather would admit that James Toney had a better shoulder roll. Anyway, bottom line is this: watch one of James Toney's interviews from when he first started boxing, and watch one of his interviews now. You see a wad of saliva drooling from the side of his lip. He can't even make a full sentence without.
You give it another 5 years with these MMA fighters.
I'm telling you.
And all of them are going to be Parkinson's and all of that stuff that deals with the brain and the nervous system, because they all just getting hit in the head. They all punch drunk, losing teeth, and all of that stuff. Let's go to our producer, Danny, and see what he thinks about this.
Danny might be biased,
no,
honey.
I just think it hasn't been enough time for the verdict on MMA yet. You know what I mean? They haven't been getting beat up long enough. Like,
right.
It's.
In a few years,
I tell you right now, this is the problem.
In the minimum of 5 years, you're going to see a problem for MMA, like brain problems and shit like that.
I'm telling you.
You're entitled to that, but in 5 years from now, we're going to revisit this whole discussion.
That's what I'm talking about.
And guess what?
Speak it into existence.
And you guys
are going to be here 5 years from now.
We're going to go straight down to the most expensive restaurant, and you guys are going to buy me the biggest steak I've ever seen in my life.
You
and
stop
on
eating
you
beef.
guys. Oh, man. But anyway, like I said, put on that boom boom.
I'll personally take you to Peter Hoover's, man.
Okay, I'm glad he didn't.
As long as I got some salmon, I'm good. I'm cool.
All right. Put on that Boom Boom Mancini fight, okay, and watch him brutalize that Korean boy, and that guy died in the ring that night.
But see, this is
it's a numbers game, Donald. I'm telling you, the shots to the face in MMA are so minute compared to the ones in boxing.
No, I can't.
You have two. You can only strike in the body or the head. That's it. And it's for 12 rounds.
But all right, now think about the difference in the power of a punch and the power of a kick to the face.
Oh, but they're not throwing a lot of head kicks. And one head kick, usually a guy is out.
Right.
I'm saying though, you have a better chance of getting knocked out cold and recovering from that than being concussed on your feet and continuing to take shots. A lot of these boxers don't even know they're out on their own feet.
We need to. I wish we had some live callers. We need that.
We do, but I'll tell you right now, we should get a doctor in here next week and verify both of our arguments.
Because you probably have already Googled this, like numbers.
I did research it.
See, you already researched it. But
I did.
For
Boxing is way more dangerous for your health than MMA.
I can't agree. We need to know what you think out there as the fans watching this. Tweet us in your responses. For me, he is dead wrong and feeling like boxing is more brutal. Obviously, he thinks I'm dead wrong, feeling like MMA is more brutal.
I'm going to say what he said
We
earlier.
know that
I'm going to say what you said earlier. I'm going to think he's crazy. How about that?
Nah, he's crazy. We know I'm always right. So there you have it.
Anyway, we'll find out.
Hey, we'll catch y'all. We'll be back.
Take care. You are crazy. You know that.